1 million people discuss suicide on ChatGPT weekly. It's like beeps with regards to their MAUs, which is the monthly active users at around 800 million. Statistically, it's small, but in absolute figures, that means at least every nation where ChatGPT is being used, like predominantly, has a significant...
There has to be at least one.
We're discussing suicide right now.
Being mean to ChatGPT boosts its accuracy. Up to 84% better results when you're rude. Over 250 unique prompts sorted by politeness to rudeness.
Mm-hmm.
The very rude responses yielded an accuracy of 84%. Thank you so much for being part of this journey. We asked for 250 and we are 251.
Organic, except for 2.
Is it really organic if we say please subscribe? I guess it's organic. It has to be organic.
It has to be organic. We always tell them to unsubscribe.
We've not given anyone money.
And we always tell them to unsubscribe as well.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Very organic.
We usually ask
because of that.
If you unsubscribe,
it's more organic because we ask them to unsubscribe.
Yes, we tell you to hit confirm when you're subscribed, which can only mean that those who stay.
Conviction.
Yes. So thank you so much. Mm-hmm. We have a great show for you guys. Welcome. Dominic, as you can tell, in the last episode, thank you for coming. You are a guest to the show. So
you mean?
please join me in welcoming our new guest, Dominic Mulinda. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us on the Evans Munene Admin Access podcast.
So you know, like the pseudo admin, the self-proclaimed.
This show
the
is
government.
mine.
Just stand. You know, it's funny. Anyway, it's a dark joke, but sounds like an African government to me.
Could it be that the investor money ran out? You blew it all on cheap thrills.
Had to come back, man. Had to come back. Try to look for bread.
You're looking for better opportunities.
Yeah, I tried, bro. Mm-hmm. But kind of finally ended up back in Kenya.
Mm-hmm. Welcome back to the show. And now we are back to our usual kind of AI. But before that,
AI is law. Yeah, another episode.
Yeah, another episode of AI propaganda and AI law. But nonetheless, before we start, there is one thing I wanted us to follow up on, and this is, if you remember, a few episodes ago we talked about iPhone Air. Where does it exist? Where does it look the way it does?
Yeah.
Who wants to be seen wearing an iPhone Air in public?
Of bold prediction.
And we had a bold prediction. I don't remember, but maybe the editor can just play them.
Also, you don't even care about what your prediction was? You know you're right.
I remember my stance was that I think they were just doing, they were making the Air to more or less knowing it's not going to sell, but primarily as a show off of their
capability.
Of the engineering. Or more so trying to think of, hey, if they can make such a small phone, I piggybacked off what Samsung did with the Samsung Edge, which also is failing with regards to sales. But we saw Samsung Edge being a precursor to the Fold. I tried to extrapolate the same with Apple. I was like, I think it's also possible that maybe they're trying to do it. They haven't gotten there yet at their own standard, but the Edge or the Air is that middle ground where
the thin phone category.
Yes, they've engineered the thinnest up until the point, but it's not completely going foldable just yet. And we don't know if they do a foldable. I'm not saying that they are, but that was the only possible reason that I had to think of why would they create such a thing.
Yeah, I remember I said that I thought it was like just one, like a Goldilocks effect type of thing. They wanted to just anchor people towards buying the base model and the pro models. So my prediction was iPhone sales this year are probably going to be a bit higher.
Yeah.
Maybe statistically significantly higher, but higher.
So the new reports are saying that they're actually just winding it down.
Well, you mean iPhone Air?
iPhone Air and the Edge and the Galaxy S7 Edge, the thin devices.
So the thin
yes.
phones.
No one wants that. No one wants that at okay, no, maybe not anyone wants it at all. YouTubers want that.
Tech tubers.
Yes, but actually, for me, the more I thought about it, the more it just came to mind. why would someone even buy it? Okay, I can understand for the YouTuber point of view. You know, you have the luxury of picking a device, you probably move on to another one, so you're much more willing to engage in the risk and the speculation of, you know, let me try this new device, the novelty of it. However, tell me, in any time or any market where people have always chosen less, excluding Japan. I'm just gonna put that country to the side, but like just thinking out loud, the Air I think is going for $1,000, which doesn't make it too far off from the iPhone Pro. Even forget the Pro Max. So at that point, people just really just asking themselves, like, am I really going to pay more for less phone? Like at this point, these guys.
I was actually thinking about it in the context though. First of all, it looks budget compared to the other phones in the category when you think about it.
As budget as $1,000 can be.
Yes, I'm just saying, probably someone buying the iPhone Air for its cost will probably slap like a phone cover on it. Does it really actually stay thin after? Like, are you really buying it for the novelty of it?
It probably still will,
thin?
But the thing is,
I'm just like, it does not make sense.
If you really have $1,000 and you're going to spend on a phone,
you're not gonna buy.
You're not gonna buy less phone
and less battery usage. But first of all, like not even a full day battery usage. Anyway, so let me just say, let me put this out there. It has come as no shocker for me that the sales are really, really low. I completely 1,000%. I think would see that happening. I never expected it to sell more.
I don't even think
my prediction will hold because the existence of the iPhone Air validates
makes the Pro more appealing.
I mean, I'm yet to wait for the statistics to prove my prediction wrong. But in fact, I think you're actually adding on to it. You're giving it more weight, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I think the 17 Pro is selling a lot more because of the existence of the iPhone Air, and I think it's a smart thing to do if you can, especially if these guys already had like 17 Pro last year. Dude, I was just looking at it because I was actually in the place where I'm thinking, should I upgrade my iPhone this year? And the only thing I'm seeing, man, is like a design change for the back. Like, I'm actually like, how are we suckered into the hole that Apple is? Like, surely, like you literally just have a different back design that I will just have a cover on top of, by the way. Like, and people are actually upgrading, you know, like, it does not make any utilitarian sense right now, in my opinion, to even like, because I've actually gone through the tech reviews to try and see like what am I actually gaining. I mean, I'm not big on cameras and stuff. So.
We stopped counting gains in terms of devices and features a long time ago.
Yeah, so we have to look for, even for Apple, they have to look for different ways. They do not have Apple intelligence, as we know.
In fact,
they do not have.
You were telling me about.
Yeah, I was telling you how there are very, very, very well founded rumors. I shall slap that reference here. That Apple will actually be using Google's Gemini in the next version of the upgraded Siri, which is kind of dumb when you think about it, because I mean, your quote unquote intelligence is actually someone else's. That's how far back they are, man. Like that is how behind they are in the AI game.
As the young people say, fallen off.
Yeah.
And that said, at their size, can you really fall off? That's neither here nor there.
Speaking.
We go on to our next story.
Intelligence. You actually wanted to talk about this one a lot.
Yes. Because, you know, we talk about AI on this episode, on this show a lot. And really, it's the only thing we ever talk about, except when I get the chance to be free, unshackled. Unshackled by trends and talk about cars. There's, you know, we talk about these stories in a very, you know, tongue-in-cheek way. But except I don't know how to feel about some of the stories that I found much recently. So there are three things which in isolation, or three stories which in isolation, you know, they just run of the mill, you know, product announcement, you know, news story. But I don't know, I just feel, you know, there's that angst. My spidey senses are tingling when I think about it. So the first one has to do with the new humanoid robot called Neo. Let me first make sure that I've muted my device. And it's a $20,000 humanoid robot that's meant to do chores.
$20,000.
Yes.
Is it the one that was tagging a whole car? Because there was a test that was, I think I saw like a 13 or was it 45 kg robot that was pulling a whole vehicle. It was actually so interesting too. Anyway, that's a business point. But anyway, with robots.
The only videos I've seen of it is it moving in people's houses. It's meant to be basically
humanoid.
Yes, a human.
Dexterity, everything. You can be able to like.
Yes, actually. It's meant to fold your clothes, do the dishes, all those things, and then.
And of course, that has LLMs to understand the instructions and stuff.
Yeah, and in a twist of irony, I saw another article that talked about how being mean to ChatGPT boosts its accuracy.
Being mean,
yes. So you get, they said, up to 84% better results when you're rude.
When you're rude to AI.
Yes.
84% is, wait, what do you mean 84% better result?
Let's see here.
First of all,
accuracy.
Okay, well.
Over 250 unique prompts sorted by politeness to rudeness. The very rude responses yielded an accuracy of 84%. Or not percent more, accuracy of 84%. 4 percentage points higher than the very polite response. Essentially, the LLM responded better when researchers give it prompts like, I'm not going to say that here. Anyway, TLDR.
If you're rude.
If you're rude. Yeah. In life also, but it's revealing what we know to be true. Anyway.
Is it gaining consciousness? Anyway.
I saw those two stories and all I could just think about is the Matrix. Like, at what point will you... So we've made we're making humanoid robots that can essentially are now in the process of doing what humans can do. At some point, it's going to hold a knife. At some point, it's going to have the dexterity. And they were telling...
Well, it really just needs to punch you, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
You're probably gone. You don't need to hold a knife or use anything.
We'll slap the video of the robot fighting each other. In China, they have they have their robot boxing Olympics.
Yes. I saw that one.
So I see that. I see this story. And then someone's telling me to be rude to AI, and I just think, the Matrix is probably coming sooner than we think. Like,
I know.
At what point will you just say, hey guys, I just want you to know that the overlords will be here with us soon, because it's like we are getting to the point where it almost feels surreal. So. It went, when we talk about a robot, it was in a very novel toy kind of way. Oh shucks, look at this robot dog can mimic sound. Now it's like, now we have humans in your house, and they're gonna be doing everything you can do. But then now we have LLMs that people say we're approaching the AGI, the infamous artificial general intelligence, and the singularity will be here soon. And it's like, at what point in this stage will we stop and think, I think we're a bit too far in. What do you think?
This is actually interesting.
Do you feel a sense of concern or like existential dread as I do when I think about some of these things? Like, do we really know what we're doing?
I am deep in the existential dread than you'd imagine. So, shameless plug, I'm reading this book. I didn't even think it was applicable to a conversation. But it's called The Alignment Problem. Brian Christensen. It's the guys who did the
Algorithms to
Live By, a book that we so often cite. But basically, the whole basis of the book is on AI alignment and all the moral quandaries and issues that it brings up. What you're bringing up, first of all, let me just start by saying, I went for a conference last month, and I have on very good authority that Nvidia, AMD, Intel, these guys are literally thinking 10, 15 years ahead. Like, what are they? Because apparently their relevance is for designing chips that are going to be relevant in like 4 or 5 years. And the biggest application in 4 or 5 years in their, I think, horizon is robots, like application for these AI enabling chips in robots. So it is actually more fact than fiction. Like that iRobot world that you're thinking about, it is happening probably, I think, within the next 5 years, from what I'm seeing.
And if you take in quantum,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, it's been coming for the last 50, 100 years, but this next 10 years, they're really gonna do it this time.
I think and I think we're talking about this, about how these AI stocks are being overvalued, and
the circular
economy of just how these companies are bloating each other. I think there is signal, even in the bloat. There is still a lot of signal, especially with the applications for these chips in AIs, in robots and stuff like that. So that fear for alignment that you're talking about is actually gonna be there.
But there was a story I was reading about, I don't remember which LLM it was, but the conclusion to come out, the findings that came out of that study was that the AI was not afraid to use very underhanded tactics to achieve its goal. So it was in the case where it could cheat. In some cases, I don't know, it was blackmailing. I'm going to find the exact article and cite it here. But it was more like, hey, it had a goal of, hey, you need to do X, and these are the people you need to kind of get on board. And it's made aware of different kinds of information, and they found that it's not, it doesn't feel any, it doesn't have any problem with just bending the truth and or lying to the people in that study just to achieve it. Yeah.
Do you know what that reminds me of? I think maybe we need to do like back to AI ML 101 class to kind of remind our people the 3 ways in which AIs are generally trained, right? Neural networks are built through supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and reinforcement, right? So supervised is the kind where you give it clean data that you've labeled, and you tell it like, hey, you're teaching these models, these neural nets, to find correlations between things, data that is well categorized, that has like form. And supervised is when you're giving AI raw data and you're asking it to find correlations, like very strong correlations between the data points that you've given them. In fact, when you think about even GPTs, how they started, the transformers, it comes from, like, I think Google's study on vectors.
Yeah.
Like they would give it like man plus, I don't know, man plus mountain plus Kenya, and then Mount Kenya. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just like, it tries to find correlations between words based off of the data that it's been trained on and it has. So reinforcement learning is really at the heart of right now the application for every prompt that we're doing, which is basically we're kind of quote unquote tweaking an objective function for a particular LLM by telling it achieve this goal, and whatever it does in the process of achieving that objective, of maximizing that objective function, there's a lot of math that goes behind it. It's basically the weight with which, like, I mean, it's years on years of ML and machine learning, like mathematics and all these amazing algorithms that have been stacked on top of each other to come up with, like, the magic that we see now in prompts. Which kind of leads me to, like, one of the things that really, really piqued my brain this week. There was this Stanford study that was finding how AI chatbots are struggling to separate fact from belief. Which actually, I don't know how this bodes with you, but this is a very, very big statement. So, I think they did a study of the major LLMs. So think the latest ones, GPT-5, DeepMind, Gemini, Quen, all the big LLMs, and they trained it over 13,000 questions on fact versus fiction type. And they found very, very, like, they are really, really struggling because, you see, they have a very strong bias for confirmation bias. They have a very strong bias towards confirming whatever it is you're giving them. And so, I was thinking about it with regards to now, like what you were saying, right? Do you remember this time, like back in 2019 or something, 2019, 2020? It was mostly pure machine learning algorithms, not yet like before the era of LLM. There used to be this AI called Compass. It was, let me look for the name. Yeah, correctional offender management profiling for alternative sanctions. So this is like, I think 2016 into 2019 or something. So this is like algorithms that were deployed mostly for law enforcement to pass like judicial, to study like someone's likelihood for recidivism, like the likelihood for someone to commit a crime again. And it became a whole scandal because of the disparity between how, like, there was actually like a study done on like 7,000 defendants who actually didn't even end up going back to like crimes. Like, and this is like a study that was done years later against what Compass was saying. Right?
So Compass was saying these guys are going to commit crime again,
it's giving,
but they hadn't.
And they found like it was trained on disparity for like racial disparity. Like it would judge black people as more likely to, like, you know, to be a second time, third time offender, even without the data, like especially looking back like 4 or 5 years. In fact, I think it even miscategorized so many people who became like worst time offenders like years later.
Yeah.
And it was so crazy. It became a whole scandal.
You mean false positives, where it says this guy is not
like a
going
24% chance of recidivism, for instance, but this black guy who has like an 88% chance, and then 5 years later,
it's the
white guy is actually in a correctional facility somewhere. And I was just thinking about how it being immoral, of course, that we know it's trying to maximize on an objective function. So it's trying to maximize on, to give you the biggest confirmation bias for whatever prompt you're giving it.
Okay.
Which now even further exacerbates the fact that, okay, so if it's struggling to tell between fact and fiction, like what's the dystopian like likelihood of this?
Yeah.
If you now depend on it for like a judgment case or let's say a law case, like let's say you're building a law case and you want to build your case and it's actually giving you hot air. And I remember I was seeing like a video from, is it Kazakhstan or something, on why
Kazakhstan.
Yeah, that one. It's a very hard German name. But they're talking about why they do not explicitly use AI to just generate videos, because I mean they're in danger of AI video generation right now. But they were talking about why that whole bias thing, how it really made like I think AI slope on AI slope, referencing more AI slope can literally make something very, very logical. And I think that danger was something that I was just thinking about. And
now, funny enough for me, I see that as a kind of a silver lining, in the sense that as we get more and more dependent on AI, the regurgitation just goes through the roof. And I think it can get to a point where, okay, this is just speculation. I mean, they are very smart, the smartest people working on this problem, of course. But I think with the more and more we are using AI and then training AI with that same information, the more the quality just tends to degrade. Right?
To degrade or to...
Yeah, to degrade. Like, there's always a small 1%. Like, even if I give it 99% truth and one lie, and then it generates output which has propagated that one lie, and now it's like 2%. Like, it just keeps...
So you feel like it almost has like a state of entropy. It gets dumber.
Yes, it's like...
But people argue the opposite. People say that it actually gets smarter.
No, I don't think so. I think, again, as we get to a point where, let's say I'm using AI, right? We're all using AI. We are creating more because of AI, and then we are feeding off that same information. Now, when I tell it to just write me something, it's just pulling off all the information it has. And let's say I only introduce 10% of actual new information,
new input,
and that gets collected amongst everyone else's 10% new. Now, but we've just propagated the 90% again,
90%,
and then over and over it goes. So it's not necessarily that I think it drops, but I think there's a kind of a ceiling that we've set, in the sense that we're not. There isn't that sense of innovation of new information, as opposed to the noise that is
the noise levels, the bloat levels.
Yes,
gonna increase and increase and increase. And it's actually a bit scary, because I was looking at again a separate article talking about how 77% of people think of ChatGPT right now as a search engine.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
It's almost like now it's
It's a better search.
It's instinctively now a source of truth.
Yes.
People. And what's even worse is that, I mean, even when you look at how OpenAI is thinking about their products, they just did Atlas. Why did they do Atlas? It's because right now when you go into Google and you do a search, the first response you're getting is a Gemini.
Is a
Gemini answer. And
Yeah.
now OpenAI is thinking, okay, how do we beat Google? It's a game. Let's just
actually wonder how well Atlas has been doing.
Atlas is beans, bro. Don't even. I'm always testing out browsers. You actually will be shocked to know my current daily driver.
Chrome, Brave,
It was.
Edge.
Bro, I'm on Dia.
You're on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
They added sidebars. So anyway, we're digressing.
Do you know?
Oh, but-
do you know who else added sidebars? Chrome.
Chrome added.
That one move, at least for me, I think has gained them. And to be honest, actually,
Sidebars.
yes,
You have sidebars.
not sidebars, splits. You can
split up.
Yes, you can split tabs.
Nah, that's okay. For me, that's not my. Because I try. I've been trying.
I
Don't even
I
make me
kid
laugh.
you not, Dom.
Mm.
That one feature, I saw it. I was very happy, and then became very angry as well because I was like,
You mean you should?
"This is why we have browser wars."
Yeah, this is why we have browser. To be honest, let's not even get there. But anyway,
Back to
I've
it.
noticed the
Mhm.
point is 77% of people are looking at ChatGPT as a search engine.
Mhm.
That means it actually it's becoming way more critical with the fact that it cannot be fact finding.
Mhm.
Like it's not always fact finding. If you have an 84% accuracy in like if something is fact or fiction versus just it being a confirmation bias,
Mhm.
that is like a massive amount of implications, a massive amount of like there's a massive effect already happening with people right now. Everyone's just thinking, oh, let me ask Chatty. And I was looking at another statistic that was even more scary. 1 million people discuss suicide on ChatGPT weekly.
When this is as reported by ChatGPT,
Yes, as
My
reported by
goodness.
OpenAI.
1 million people.
I think it represents around, okay, well, it's like beeps with regards to their MAUs, which is the monthly active users at around 800 million.
Mhm.
1 million weeks,
1 million,
4 million.
that's
0 point. But statistically, it's small. But in absolute figures, that means at least every nation where ChatGPT is being used, like predominantly, has a significant.
there has to be at least one.
We're discussing suicide right now. Like they're literally, and if it's not fact finding, if it's not factual, the alignment problem. I'm plugging into that.